Oh boy. Oh boy. You know what? It would have been easier to connect everything before I went live, but hey ho, here she goes. Either a little too high. I don't even know what the words are. Welcome to the live stream. Impromptu live stream. Did not see that coming. Let me know if I'm jittery. Let me know if I'm not coming across well. This is an emergency live stream, should I say? Let me just check. Okay. It's all happening tonight. A couple of rumors have come through. Then obviously the big bomber from Fabrizio Romano. And look, we are not giving up on Kenny Tete. As let me just speak properly before I start saying words. Okay, hold on. So the tweet says, right, hold on. That's fine. Fulham have sent today new improved contract proposal to Kenny Tete after he verbally agreed to join Everton earlier this week. We are live on YouTube and Twitter, or X, or whatever you want to call it. We won't go for too long. We're basically reacting to one thing. My battery's on 51%, so we won't go for too long. This is impromptu. I was just chilling, watching some Dragon's Den, having some chicken katsu sushi, and Fabrizio has just gone, let me make your night a little bit more interesting. How do I donate to Mr. Khan to further improve Tete's contract proposal? I don't know if you can. Surely Owls pulls better than Everton. Look, and that's the thing. That's what's really going to make this thing interesting. I've now spoken to 2 Everton outlets, one tomorrow as well in Toffee TV. And basically, you know, they think it's a done deal. I basically thought it was a done deal. I didn't see this coming. But now I think about it, good. Fulham are not going without a fight. Good. Fulham are not going without a fight. We're not letting Tete go and just being like, oh well, he said no, so go off in the sunset and enjoy your time at Everton. We're actually going, well, actually, hold on a second. You're going to Everton, apparently. We're a mid-table Premier League team. We're based in London. We can offer you high wages. Let's improve the contract once more. It's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens over the next 24 to 48 hours. I don't know, how long this is going to take to resolve, but it's going to make my conversation with Toffee TV incredibly interesting tomorrow because everything has changed. Everything has changed, and I'm excited. I'm excited because I'm glad that Fulham. The thing is, like, again, I'll go back to it. Like, we all just sort of thought that we just conceded it and just gone, well, that's that then. But because he's out of contract, he can sign for anyone. And because he's already been a Fulham player for 5 years, there's always an option. Oh my God, I thought something else had happened there. No, Fabrizio Romano has got me in a chokehold tonight. Links with Taremi and some TC stuff as well. Won't be the sole focus of this stream. I actually wanted to do a live stream. Too little, too late. No, I mean, maybe, but it's something to think about, isn't it? Oh wow, Auckland City have scored against Boca Juniors. There's some fair play. I just don't care for the Club World Cup at all, really. But anyway, welcome to the stream. If you're watching on X, hello. If you're watching on YouTube, I thank you for surpassing 700 subscribers. If you're watching on Patreon, I put the stream out on Patreon, so hopefully people are watching there, which is good. And of course, I must say a massive thank you to my Patreon subscribers. It has been a fantastic week on Patreon with loads of new people coming through the door. And a massive thank you to the people who have helped me in marketing my Patreon. And I'm not going to sit here and talk about Patreon for too long until the end of the stream, really. But do subscribe for £5 a month, and you will get some really fun Fulham content, including stuff at pre-season in Portugal. His agent is clearly earning his fee. No, listen, absolutely. I mean, to have, it's like Dragon's Den. I was just watching it. You got one offer on the table, and then a dragon goes, oh, actually, I could match that. Not only I could better that, and I'm going to put 2 offers on the table, or a second offer on the table, and suddenly Kenny Tete, who's the entrepreneur who's looking at these dragons going, oh, I could join. What could they give me? What could they give me? Thank you, Eddie Middlebrook. Thank you so much for your support. You are really valued on Patreon, and so is everyone else who's joined. And suddenly, yeah, Kenny Tete is thinking, I've got two dragons here in Everton and Fulham that want me. Look, I've said for the last couple of days now to Everton outlets, I can understand the pull of David Moyes. I can understand that he'll fit in the system. He'll be first choice right back. You know, the new stadium. But then again, you can say, well, he's worked with Marco for 4 years, going to a fifth season. He knows his position. He's going to be first choice. He's going to be first choice right back as it stands because Castagne injured going into pre-season. It's not a here we go, grey sideburns, but it's like, well, we're back in the race. You know, we're back in the race. Maybe we are the hare and the tortoise. Maybe it's the hare and the tortoise situation where the hare is Everton. They've rushed ahead. They think they've got it done. And the tortoise is Fulham. They're just taking their time. They'll put a new contract offer out on the table. You know, if we were to get a Wolf of Wall Street, you know, I'm not fucking leaving sort of bomber from the club in the next couple of days, I think there'll be street parties in SW6. I'm excited because it feels like we are a boxer who has just got down. Sned's always with the cynical views, but I suppose he's not wrong. Yeah, we're like a boxer who's been knocked down, and the count's on, and we're getting up. I don't know how many colourful references I can make to compare this to, but it's exciting, and it's got people excited because at the moment there's 353 people, or there has been 357 people, 58 people who have now tuned into the stream and want to engage or have at least watched a little bit. But anyway, thank you for watching. I actually enjoy the spontaneous streams more than the planned ones, because spontaneous means that something cool has happened. And essentially, you know, I said a fixed release, I'm going to try and stream every couple of days, but there hasn't really been enough to warrant a live stream. And then suddenly, you know, you get stuff like this, which comes out of nowhere. Joe Sansom hit the nail on the head today on Jack and Joe. It's out on YouTube, but with Fulhamish, it's out in the podcast feeds as well. But he said that last season, and he sort of made me remember this, that all the news that came out with Fulham, JK stream, I'm locked in, Sansom's watching. Hello, Sansom, and I'm going to shout you out now, because what he said was, you know, all the stuff that happened with Fulham earlier last season with news always came out when it was almost done. So there was no teasing, no pussyfooting around. It was all Everton fan here. You can keep Tete injury prone. Don't want him. Look, you know what? There has been a bit of fuel to the fire today with Fulham and Everton fans, with quite an erratic take from an Everton fan regarding why Tete might want to pick to go to Everton because they won an FA Cup in, what was it, 1995? No, was it 1998? Anyway, it's I didn't really want to get involved. I'm trying to be a little bit more professional these days, although, you know, all these Brentford things that are happening are making me giggle, but, you know, I need to be a little bit more professional in my job. But of course, you know, the beauty is I'm a Fulham journalist covering Fulham FC, but I'm also a massive Fulham fan, as you can see behind me, with 95 Paul, thank you, with this sort of virgin mentality of having shirts on my wall. So look, I'm a massive Fulham fan. I want Kenny Tete to stay more than oxygen in my lungs or in my system. I don't even know. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. I think it will make next season interesting between Fulham and Everton. That's why I named it sort of this stream, Fulham v Everton, the battle for Tete. Maybe we should just play a pre-season friendly, and the winner gets Kenny. But I'm glad that we haven't conceded this, you know, because, you know, I believe that Fulham have been in talks with Tete's representatives since January, you know, because we knew this was coming. We knew it was on the horizon, that he was going to be out of contract. We tried to offer him the best deal possible. He rejected. And then I verbally agreed. No, it could be. That's the second time someone said it. It could be too little, too late completely. But you've got to try, haven't you? If there's a beautiful girl that you fancy and they think you're gonna they get if you want something within reason, you should go for it. And Fulham are very much in reason to get for Kenny. I can't speak to go for Kenny Tete. You don't want to watch the girl you fancy go off with another fella who you feel you can compete with in terms of looks, personality. You're going to go for it and say, sorry, mate, I'm going to try and chance my arm one more time. Not that I've ever been in that situation myself, because I just can't be bothered with the aggro. But yeah, Stroudy's enjoying the the analogies. Right, let's move on. Yeah, so look, this is going to be insanely interesting. I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens. If someone put a gun to my head right now and said, "What do you think is going to happen?" Do you think he'll pick Everton or Fulham? I think he'll pick Everton. I don't want to be a pessimist, but it feels as if you verbally agree, not that necessarily. Let me just double check because I don't want to get things wrong as a journo. After he verbally agreed to join Everton earlier this week, says Fabrizio Romano. I need this more than oxygen, please, Kenny. Says Joe Sansom, the voice of reason. I call him the voice of reason because in times of a crisis, when I lose my head, he's the one that calms me down. And even in the times where he loses his head, I try and calm him down, but it doesn't necessarily work the same way. King Kenny is home. I don't know whether that's an Everton fan or a Fulham fan. Rather be in London than Liverpool, to be honest. Yeah, then you got the new stadium. David Moyes, very good manager. Marco Silva, Craven Cottage, a fan base that already loves you. Oh, and this is it, the Toffee Blues. The Toffee Blues. I did a video with them at about 6:30 this evening, and was basically glazing Tete and giving him my best regards to the Everton fans. But that video you've done with us tonight, mate, might not even see the light of day. No, I really enjoyed actually. It was really good fun. Oh, he's a Fulham fan. Oh, good. PD. Look, I have utmost respect for Everton fans. I think they're a proper club. Not saying that Fulham are not a proper club, but I think that Everton are one of the proper clubs with a proper fan base. So which is why I would have wished Tete well. However, being a team who is competing at almost the same level as Everton, I believe we finished above them in the last 3 seasons. I would like to think that we can compete and we can get Tete over the line ahead of Everton. The verbal agreement is obviously making me nervous. It's obviously made everyone basically think that he's going to be going to Everton anyway. Football for you, nothing is confirmed until they're holding the scarf. Absolutely. Fabrizio Romano, thank you for changing my life because we thought he was going to be off to see the Wizard. The Wizard being Everton. But do we need Tete? Yeah, of course we need Tete. We need Tete because right now we've only got one senior-ish fit right back in Devon Tantum because Castagna's injured. Does it change the Bellanova stuff? If Tete was to sign with Fulham, does that mean that Bellanova, be a bit of a piss take if we offered Tete all those wages, a higher wage and a better deal, and say yeah, stay, and then be like, oh, but we're still going to try and sign this 40 million or 40 million euro pound 40 I can't speak 40 million euro right back Bellanova. Obviously we'll haggle the price and stuff, but I would imagine that signing Tete onto a free transfer, no, that's not right. Signing Tete down to a new contract, Carl Walker coming back. No, Carl Walker is a smokescreen. That's just his agent just being like he needs one last hurrah in the Premier League to try and get him into the England squad for the World Cup. But yeah, if we were to sign Tete on a free, I would then doubt we'd go back in for Bellanova, even though I could understand the need for the upgrade, but then it wouldn't make sense. It would basically undermine everything we've just done for Kenny Tete. And then I think Castagna is a good enough right. But I think if we had Tete and Castagna next season, I think people would be fairly happy with that. And if people are saying, well, we should go for Bellanova, and which is a fine argument to make in that situation. But then we'll be spending a lot of money on a player that we already have two people in that position. Here we go. Spending 40 million euros on a right back doesn't feel right. I know it probably wouldn't be 40. We try and haggle it down a little bit. There are other positions we should spend that money on, especially when we tie it down. Exactly. That is basically what I was trying to say, Harry, and you've done it for me. So thank you. By the way, apologies, my Wi-Fi is dropping again. Like I just didn't have time to even check Wi-Fi. I just went live and probably won't even stay live for that much longer anyway. So we'll be going for 15 minutes. 687 people have at least visited the stream. So thank you so much. If you'd like to subscribe to Patreon, it's £5 a month and you get a whole load of fun. And after my weekend at Fulham Pier, let's just say I have a very exciting interview lined up for the summer. And that's not the only thing I want to be doing. Russ, thank you so much for reposting the stream of this stream. So thank you. And of Cottage Talk. Sorry, the name escaped me for a second there. My head is so scrambled. Sometimes I feel like I need to compose myself before I go live because I just know it's just going to be a complete disaster. So, wow, it's been a dramatic evening. Oh, thanks, Lewis, as well. Thank you. I didn't realize that you got a notification when you repost the stream. So yeah, I mean, basically, I saw the tweet from Fabrizio Romano. I basically didn't really know what to say. I've got a quote tweeted to put it up to Fulham fans. Stop getting flustered, JK, mate. It's a real problemo. I basically just said, like, hold the phone, which is something that people say when you find out that something could change. And then I thought, okay, better react to this in a live stream. I was planning on doing some Patreon content today around Zinchenko, but the report was of substance, and I think it's worth talking about. But it wasn't quite at the stage where I thought this is worth talking about. So I thought I'd leave it for a couple of days, and then of course this is now a huge talking point. Sned, so your comment has completely calmed me down now. So thank you very much, and also thank you so much for watching. I think you should subscribe to Patreon. I think you'd really enjoy it. Let's read some comments. Castagna really done his job this season whilst Kenny was out, and that is with him carrying an injury as well, so he deserves even more credit. Having them both rotating, I'd definitely be happy as a Fulham fan. Maybe bringing in an 18-year-old to develop for the next 2-3 years. Exactly, with Devon Tantum, he went out on loan to Chesterfield, and I think we recalled him due to injury, and then he featured for the under-21s. What does everyone think of Zinchenko as well? I think it's a really sensible buy. I think it's a price we can haggle with Arsenal. We've done that before with Bernd Leno. If they want 10 mil, we could say, look, well, here's 6 or 5 up front, and we can offer you another 2 to 3 if he hits these appearances and criterias and stuff like that. That's something we did with Leno before, and obviously we've had to pay that sort of extra couple of million, but it's been 100% worth it. Leno's been one of the best players that we've had in recent history, especially goalkeepers. So yeah, and obviously Zinchenko can play in midfield as well. And if we're looking at buying a midfielder, and because what I was saying on Jack and Joe earlier was like, well, Zinchenko would look at that and go, well, there's no way I'm getting in over Robinson, especially with the way that Fulham play and the way they build up, the way they attack. But I can play in midfield and compete with Lukic and Berger and hopefully TC and hopefully Josh King. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, and I think that would be an exciting prospect for him. Like, another player from Arsenal. People are going to banter us about it, but in the end, we're getting a very, very good player. Yeah, he could cover 3 positions exactly. Silver Surfer. Almost 800 people have at least dropped by. So thank you so much. If you're watching on YouTube, please do subscribe. I think we've just hit 700. Devon Tantum. Oh, let's bring this comment up. Got loads of comments tonight. We could talk about Jarpolino as well, actually. Devon Tantum should be given a chance to see if he can stick with the first team this season. I think that if Castagna is not ready for the start of the season, then Tantum should be the second right back. He should go to Portugal 100%, and then maybe play in those Carabao Cup games. And I think I think he'd be ready for that. The way I've seen him for the under-21s, he's incredibly confident going forward, and basically would fit the system very, very well. Depth at left back would be handy alongside Robinson and Cess, but like the idea of him in midfield. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, do you want to see? I mean, I'm guessing most Fulham fans will want to see Sessegnon play on the right hand side again this season. He was so effective in the second half of the season on that side that actually, if you had Zinchenko as the backup left back and can play in midfield, with knowing that Cesc can play on the wing, I think people are going to be happy with that. And I've sort of changed my mind a little bit. I used to say, oh, we need two wingers to sign two wingers, one on the right and one on the left. But actually, if we had Wilson, Traore, and Cesc, and then just Iwobi on the left, that's why we need a left-sided player. Obviously, Sessegnon can play on the left as well, but it's good that he can play on the right. Having versatile players, even like Bobby D over Reed over the years, having versatile players who can play in multiple positions is just incredibly handy. Any news on Josh King? Not yet. He's just finished the under-19s. I think he might have a little break. Can Zinchenko play left back? He is a left back. Like, that's his predominant position. No news on Josh yet. Hopefully soon. Any thoughts on signing Jason Knight from Bristol City to replace Harrison Reed? I've seen bits of that, but I don't think there's any substance in it at all. Cesc is a winger, Sneds. I 100% agree. So, like, in a scenario where we played the first game of the Carabao Cup and we wanted to give Robinson a rest, and let's just say we had Zinchenko. I know we've gone off topic on Tete. We can go back to it because an Everton fans just commented. If we had Robinson rested for that Carabao Cup game, and then have like a left back in Zinchenko, and then like Cuenca and Diop or whoever, and then right back, let's say Castagna or Devon Tantum, and then Sessegnon on the right hand side, that just for me would make a lot of sense. And I know it's been a frustrating summer so far, but things are going to start to pick up. I'm sure of it. Things are going to start happening. I'm sure of it. Let's read the Everton fans. Hold on. Josh should sign anyway. Boyhood, sensible family. Yeah, his family. I know his family personally. They're very good people. I would love to see Josh King sign a new contract. I would love it. Everton fan here. It's up to the player now. Stay in London, which is a big attraction for players, or what a new challenge at a new stadium. We'll see. 100%, 100%. And I think that is what's really interesting. There's two arguments, and both fan bases will be like, well, this is the reason why he should stay. And the other fan base in Everton will say, well, this is the reason why he should go. And I think they both have valid arguments. It is a last chance saloon for Fulham. Last chance saloon completely. We've seen you're going to Everton. Are you sure? Marco's probably called him up and gone, come on, man. And the thing is, he said at the end of the City game, he wants to create more memories at the club. Sometimes players say one thing and they mean another, but, that's something that the Fulham fans watched and listened and thought, okay, well, then I'm confident he's staying. And it's obviously been very, very quiet. Same with TC, but we'll see what happens I think this is going to be a very big couple of weeks for Fulham. Very big couple of weeks. I'm really looking forward to. I'm going to have my eyes and ears on the ground. I'm going to do the best I can to try and find out what's going on for every Fulham fan, because it's very important, and I am making strides into just becoming a little bit more journalistic when it comes to the off season. So hopefully, I can start finding some things out that are going to be of interest. I can't promise anything, but my job is to do that. And after a year in the game, my desperation to sort of find out these things are growing by day, and I'm on the right path. Let's just say to at least try and get some stuff. Anyway, I shouldn't say too much, to be fair. Wonder if the new and improved contract offer for Tete is because we want to invest money in other areas rather than replacing players. Like, you would rather get Tete on a new contract than spend 40 million euros, or I say 40 million euros, let's say 35 million on a new right back. Albeit if it's an upgrade, it's an upgrade. But Tete is a very tried and tested player at this club. And with him at right back, we've done very well. I'm trying to think. Someone put it in the comments, has Tete ever made an individual mistake that's led to a goal? Because I'm very struggling with actually, obviously, touch wood, like you don't want it to happen, but I'm struggling to remember a time where that's happened. Let me just check the phone, seeing if anything's going on. Nothing's going on. Lyon relegated to Ligue 2, which is a bit mad, but doesn't really affect Fulham. It could. Ernest Nuema. Probably not. What winger would you realistically sign this summer? Now, I said Harvey Barnes on the left-hand side, but I just think it's unrealistic with the amount of money they put in. I don't think we would see a return. I don't think we would pay over what they paid from Leicester. I like Ndoye, but I think he's going to Napoli from Bologna. So it's very hard to say. It's very hard to say. Almost 900 people have tuned in tonight. Incredible. We've only been live for 25 minutes, and my battery is pretty Jamal low. I should probably turn the brightness down. Last question. No, mate, honestly, keep them coming. I don't mind. The more interaction, the more I can pedal a conversation, the more I can keep viewers engaged. And you guys asking questions is what's driving the stream. If I try and speak on my own, like Snez says, I get flustered. So is the striker into our backup in case Muniz goes? No. Any from what I believe, any striker rumor that you'll see is the third striker. We only have 2 strikers on the books right now, in Raul and Rodrigo. Osman looks like he's destined to go to Celtic. Vinicius has been released, so we need a third striker. They will compete with Rodrigo Muniz and Raul Jimenez. Let's have a look. God, so many comments tonight. I love this. Does anyone remember even Savisa wanted Zinchenko? Might be a good signing. I don't remember when Savisa wanted Zinchenko, but I know that Marco has wanted Zinchenko in the past. Any chance we could sign Robinson with Tete? We need competition for Mikaleko at left back. No chance. Absolutely zilch. Mitchell acted like that, but we won't talk about that. I don't know what that's in reference to. Do you know his wages at the moment weekly? I don't. All I know is that Everton offered significantly, or not. They offered more than we offered, and maybe we've gone back and matched it. I'm guessing we have, because even if we haven't matched it, then it's an easy decision for Tete. Oh, maybe not. I just don't know. I'm guessing you're an Everton fan. We should have never sold Robinson. Hindsight is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Do we know when the games will be on the Algarve? Would love to get to a game. So basically, the club haven't announced it, but a Norwegian streaming site, a television site that's basically streaming the games or broadcasting the games, have said we're playing Forest on the 26th of July, which I cannot make due to my friend's wedding. And then we're playing Victor de Guimarães, a Portuguese side, on the 2nd of August, which I can make. So I'll head out there on the Monday morning ahead of the game on, I'm guessing it's the Saturday. And then we got the Saturday afterwards, a game against Frankfurt at Craven Cottage. And the latest comments. Do we need to remember how few clean sheets we had last season? We need some improvement with the back four. 100%. But like I said, Tete hasn't necessarily made those individual errors that leads to goals. I think he's lost his man at the back post a few times, of course. God, have I missed like loads of comments? I have. Bloody hell. There's loads of comments. Okay, let's keep an eye on the time. Okay, actually, let me just continue because all these questions need answering. Yeah, I think we need to improve on, or at least have someone to compete with Anderson. That I think Diop has been brilliant, but because he's not been around the first team squad in the last 5-6 weeks, I've been concerned that that's a sign that he might leave or he's out of favour. I think we do need to improve the back four, and obviously Belanova has been rumoured, but I would rather keep Tete, who's tried and trusted, than spend a whole load of money on a new right back, even though I know the interest in Belanova is 100% concrete. Tete boot broke, which caused the goal. I don't know which goal that was. Oh yeah, when his boot broke in the cup versus Spurs, but that was not his fault. I mean, that's a freakish accident, and we ended up winning that night as well. But no, that's answered my question. So fair enough. Thank you very much. Only one I could think of when he gave the penalty away against Arsenal. When did he give the penalty away against Arsenal? 23-24. When did they get a pen? Oh, at the Emirates. Yeah, I suppose he did. You know, defenders. I think he was up against Martinelli or Saka. It must have been Martinelli. That's tricky. Here we go. Reitman TV. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Tete on his day is one of the best in the Premier League. It is about time Fulham tried to at least fight for their players. Good point. Tete on a 35 million. Tete on a 35M all day long versus. Oh, I guess it's Tete or a 35 million player all day long versus a new player we don't know if he can adapt well to the cottage. Yeah, it's a good point. He might go and hide again at his medical. I'm guessing that was Nuema. Scored the winning pen, though. He did. Youth coming up, like Devin Tantum, I suppose. And there's Seth Ridgens coming through. He's doing very, very well. Didn't Rodrigo just sign a new contract? Raul Jimenez signed an extension. Rodrigo Muniz has 1 year left on his contract, but we have an option to make it 2. For me, the wingers is Malik Fofana or Johan Bakayoko are the 2 wingers I want. Okay, good options. We need backup for Leno if he's injured. We are stuff. 100% agree. We need to upgrade on. We need to upgrade on who is it? Bender. God, there's so many comments and over 1,000 people watching. This is exciting. Surely he picks us over crappy Everton. I mean, Everton aren't crap, but yeah, I would like to think he'd pick Fulham. But again, gun to my head, I think he would go with Everton at the moment because he's got a verbal agreement. Where do you think De Figueres will play next season? I think he will stay at Fulham and go out on loan, which is great. Answer to Tete's wages is 35k per week, I believe. Okay. Okay, that's been said twice. It's reported Tete was on 50 grand a week. That will go a lot further in Liverpool than London, and he will be able to get cheap flights from John Lennon Airport if he fancies going home. Fair enough. We were discussing Tete last night on Toffee Bluecast that potentially Everton were offering a 3-year contract. Did Fulham offer more years to match? Well, this is interesting because I think Everton offered 2 years with an option, and I'm guessing Fulham would probably try to do the same, but maybe Fulham were hesitant to offer a 30-year-old a 3-year contract because we're trying to get the average age of the squad down. I don't have any intel on that. I'm just assuming that's what maybe could have happened. This is so many comments. Sometimes I sit in the stream, I get no comments, but today is a special day. I sound like my HD gamer. How many signings do you reckon we'll have before Brighton? Oh, it's easy. I think 5. 5 before Brighton, 6 or 7 before the window closes. But that's just a prediction. I'd have no idea or intel on that. Do you reckon Cuenca leaves this summer? No, I don't think he does. He might be a bit homesick, but I think he can stay. That was on Fabio Vieira. Okay, fair enough. How can you forget that? I don't know what you're referring to. Like, I'm so far behind. Bring back Kakanich. I think that would probably not go down too well, but fair enough. Are there any rumours for goalkeepers we're interested in? Not really. Not that I've seen. Do you not miss a trick signing Kelleher, considering the Bees picked up for 12 mil or so? I suppose missing a trick, but Brentford got there first. They've now lost their manager. They might lose Mbuemo. They're going to need a player like Kelleher to try and get them in the Premier League. I think a solid cam would be a massive area to improve. I think I've got my stocks all in on Smith Rowe. Let's have a look. Let's see if that comes to fruition. I think Smith Rowe could do no well next season. Defo. Okay, so people just replying to each other. Okay, I think we got down to the last comment. Fulham transfer on Twitter predicted he thinks that we do not need to sign anyone until June 30th. No, I don't agree. I don't agree with that. But that's something me and FFN have spoke about. So I don't agree. I think that was all because of PSR last year. So people have just basically assumed that that's going to be the same this year. PSR, remember all those clubs were making those signings before. So basically, there's an assumption that Fulham can't do anything until July 1st. I don't believe that's true. I've been told that's not true. Forget Tete, re-sign James Husband. Oh, that's it. That's the one we need. Any more in terms of comments? My laptop is on. My brother kept saying, can you stop mentioning your laptop situation on stream? So yeah, I will. Sorry about that. Another comment. Jack, I might have missed this one. I know he's not appeared much, but Zhao's 45 minutes tonight versus Benfica. He's a shadow of his full himself. Mark have to give him a big cuddle. Bayern Munich playing at the moment? I don't actually. I'm not really keeping up with the Club World Cup these days. What about Mario Hutchinson from Ipswich? Just too expensive for me. Just too expensive with the price they want. What would be the players that you'd really want to bring in if possible? I mean, it's just hard to say. Individual players are really hard to sort of pinpoint. I'm struggling on names at the moment in terms of from the ones that have been linked. Bellanova, if Tete goes to Everton, it sort of forces our hand to go hard on Bellanova. I like the idea of Zinchenko, and I think they are the ones that have moved me the most so far. Does anyone recall when our first signings happened in the last 2 summers? That's a really good point. Raul Jimenez was in July. That was the first signing. That was 2 years ago. It was on a Saturday. Last season, first signing was. I can't remember. I thought saw a couple of reports saying we're looking at him. Yeah, no, I saw that as well. I just think it's too much money if you talk about Amari Hutchinson. Yeah, too expensive. Taremi, haven't seen enough of him. It fits the mold of what Silva wants in a striker. 1,100 people have tuned in tonight. I can't quite believe that. Thank you so much for your support. Please subscribe to Patreon. I guess it's all for Fulham fans, really. Patreon is mainly for Fulham fans. £5 a month. We've got loads of people through the door in the last week. It's been an absolute triumph. And I've got a nice number that I want to hit before the start of the season, and we're fairly close to it. It's a conservative number, but I want to hit it. I want to surpass it. I cannot wait. To make some more content, especially out in Portugal. Thoughts on Taremi? Yeah, just haven't seen enough of him play, but it's a very similar mold to sort of to like Muniz and Jimenez in his build. Is TK Tony Khan and She Khan in London currently? Now that Jacksonville is all sorted, I'm not really keeping up with what's going on with Jacksonville. I just know they're playing in, I believe, September, October at Wembley, the same weekend we're playing against Arsenal. Massive congrats to my mate Sam, who's got the job at the Standard today. That was fantastic news to hear. Loving the impromptu. I don't know what that means. Little Viet kitchen. I don't know what that means. Where am I? I've lost. Paulinia signed beginning of July as well. Yeah, that was 3 years ago now. Okay. Do you think we'll go back in for Hamer? Maybe the Van Eerwijk thing was a complete joke. I checked out that Van Eerwijk news and it just wasn't true, which is a shame because it was very fun at the time. It was very fun. And then Gus Hamer has asked Jack Stroudley. Jack Stroudley literally needs Gus Hamer down the cottage. I mean, the Jalapeno is an interesting one. Like, I know Marco wants him back. It's like the Take That song, want him back for good. With a loan with an option to buy could be interesting. A straight loan could be interesting. I don't think United can afford him. I think if there's a queue of clubs in for Polinia, I think we're at the front of the queue. I think that it would be a massive pull if we were to do it. I think there's a lot of work to do, though. I think there's a huge amount of work to do for Polinia. And what was my final point on that? He comes back to a place where he's loved and appreciated. I could see the temptation. He's had a horror year, hardly played any football, went through a divorce, had a really shocking year. And if he wanted to go back to somewhere who loved him in Marco, in a fan base that absolutely adored him, I don't think there'd be any bad blood when he came back. No one would boo him. Everyone would be singing his name. I think that that's a possibility. Do I think it's going to happen at this stage? No. Do I think that we're going to explore it and look at it as a possibility? Absolutely. So many comments, bloody hell. Placement for Reed could be Ogbene from Ipswich. Interesting. Reed is in Bobby D Cordova because that happened last year, or Harrison Reed. Can play many positions as well. I'm not sure who you're talking about, but I'm guessing it was Zinchenko, maybe. But yeah, this whole stream was about bloody Kenny Tete baby. Reece Nelson's obviously a name as well. You're unlikely to try. So plenty of goals say unlikely, but conflicting reports. Yeah, there's been loads of conflicting reports. From what I've heard, I think we're trying. But again, it's a very, very difficult one because if there's an option to buy there as well, that's going to add a big transfer fee on the end of it as well. It'd be amazing if he came back. It'd be amazing. I know United are stiffing, but I just don't think they'll be able to afford him with all their money they're spending this summer. Reece Nelson, how much do you anticipate us spending this summer? I think we'll go hard. I think we'll go hard in January, in July, I should say, because Marco's demanding that we upgrade the squad. We can't stand still. That's what he keeps saying. And I say that in quotations because that's what he always says. At the moment, we're standing still. Doesn't mean that we're not moving around in the background. Bobby Reed has sort of been replaced already, hasn't he? But there are plenty of good deals available. Sorry, I feel like I'm coming across quite blunt in my responses. I'm just trying to get through all the comments. There are plenty of good deals available from France with them not having a TV deal. They've been forced to sell to stay back in the black. Yeah, I mean, that was a thing last year, wasn't it, as well? People kept going on about that last year. Bring him home. Fans love him. To do anything to see him play again. Yeah, at the Cottage. Palhinha, yeah, that would be insane, wouldn't it? Palhinha feels like a deadline day signing if I've ever seen one. We're going to wait until the very last end. Well, it would be karma. Not karma. It would be ironic if we would do a deal for Paulinho on deadline day and then the deadline would run out and we couldn't get it over the line because the deadline's now going to be like 5 p.m., which is the exact same thing that happened when he tried to go to Bayern Munich, or he was almost going to Bayern Munich just the season before he left. Didn't sign anyone in Jan, so sorry, we go big this season. Yeah, I mean, we brought in Willian, and that was really it, to be fair. I don't think that we'll be seeing Willian back at Fulham next season. I know he's been released, but if we brought him back, I think everyone's head would explode. Lyon have got relegated. Do you think we could take advantage of go for any of their players? Look, Ernest Nuema basically had a medical with Fulham last season. It didn't go through. We went for Nelson instead. There's a chance we go back in for him. I know Everton have been linked with him as well. Anything else going on Twitter? I might have a quick gander on Twitter. Also, you can follow me on TikTok at Sleeper Fulham, all one word. Subscribe to my Patreon for £5 a month. The link is in my bio. We've got loads of members through the door this week, and I'm looking for more and more people to come through. It's going to be fantastic fun. You get really unique content, and I know there's going to be loads of really incredible content coming over the summer and going into the new season as well. Can't wait to be covering the club next season. It's an absolute honour and a privilege. Awobi has posted an image of Carl Walker-Peters today on his Instagram story. Has he actually? Because I must have skipped over that. Let's have a little checkled over read. Alex Awobi. I'm always checking out the players' Instagram just in case they're doing something fairly interesting. It's because he posted so much. So yeah, I don't know where that is. If someone can put that in the comments or something, then I'll check it out. Willian was still good on his day, absolutely. But if we want to upgrade on the left-hand side, I think we've got to do better than Willian. And I think the left-hand side is a key position for us this summer. Okay, that wasn't meant to happen. There we go. Anyone from Lyon we could bring in now they're relegated? Okay, yeah, Ernest Nuema is probably the only name that I can probably think of right now. Is that all the comments? Last year's away kit being behind you has to be one of the best clubs made. It's beautiful. Best the club's made. It's beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? It's fantastic. And I've also got it's out of shot, but you can see it. Well, you can't see, but it's out of shot. But it's the Pizza Hut one, which is exactly the same. I've got the yellow one in the middle because I think it's quite cool. Yeah, my battery's running low, so I'm going to I'll go for another. I'll try and go for another 10 minutes at least. But 1,200 people have logged in tonight, so thank you so much for at least dropping by. It's been quite exciting. We haven't really talked about Kenny Tete apart from the first 25 minutes or so. This whole stream is about Kenny Tete. Is he going to pick Fulham or Everton, or it might even be another club? Who knows? He's a free agent as of July 1st, so he will take his pick. Sess in pre-season is very good to see. Absolutely, I've been keeping across that. I've been very impressed with what I've seen from Smith Rowe from one picture. But in terms of Sess as well, fantastic stuff. I think my TikTok's blasting off because I must have. Yeah, I made a video on obviously Kenny Tete yesterday, and I think someone might have commented, or maybe they haven't commented. They haven't. It was my brother sending me a TikTok. No, never mind. Okay, I think we've maybe ran its course. Thank you so much for everyone for your comments and contributions. I think that's the most I've had on a stream in a while, including opening day, not opening day, fixture release day. Liam's spamming the comments right now. Absolutely love that. Looks in better shape already. I agree 100%. If you're not already, follow me on Twitter. Sneds, you gotta read Sneds' comment. Sess is super focused, confidence back. Happy to be back. Going to be a serious season for him. I agree. Put your devices on charge. I can't because I have to. My brother will be getting annoyed at me mentioning this, but the power socket is going into the microphone, which is producing the crisper sound. So I just let my battery run dry, and I don't need to be live for any longer. I think we've basically touched on all the stuff that's happened tonight. So yeah, Kenny Tete, baby, Kenny Tete. Whoa, are you going to stay? I'm sure Mark has been on the blower to him. Maybe Tony Khan's been on the blower to him and said, "Look, come on, let's offer you one last deal. If you want to go to, if he rejects it and goes to Everton, you just got to hold your hand up and go, we did the best we could." And yeah, I'm very, very excited and intrigued to see what happens tomorrow and over the next couple of days. Obviously, tomorrow is Wednesday. Okay, so I reckon we might have a resolution to this by Friday. You never know. That's just me guessing. Guys, I'm going to have to plug the Patreon. We've had a few people through the door in the last few days, which has been fantastic. And I think we can do even more. There's going to be loads of stuff to come over the summer. Interviews, pre-season content, hopefully interviews with players and who knows, when you're out in Portugal. I'm certainly going to do my hardest to request the best content for you guys as well. Subscribe. It's only $5 a month. If you're having a pint tonight in the pub, it costs you £6.50. That is more expensive than a whole month's offering of Patreon. $6 if you're in America. And it really is as simple as following the link in my YouTube description or in my Twitter bio. And you basically just subscribe. Obviously, putting things behind a paywall is obviously causes controversy, but this is my career. This is what I do as a full-time job, with some other stuff on the side, which is fantastic. All to do with Fulham, all to bring you guys content, all to represent the fans in the best possible way as a true Fulham fan who used to be home and away and now has gone from home away to the press box. And it is an absolute Tim dream come true. Thank you so much for watching, for listening, for bearing with me while I tried to basically... I don't know. I've got what a terrible way to round it off. Thank you so much. Subscribe to Patreon, subscribe to YouTube, follow me on TikTok, follow me on Twitter. I know I'm being slightly, you've got to plug your stuff, you've got to plug your work. Otherwise, you won't get anywhere in life. You've got to knock down doors, and that's how I got to the position I'm in now, just by being annoying and knocking on doors and not going away. And hopefully tagged you in the post of away being and Cole Peters. Thank you so much. Everton fans, thank you for contributing as well. It would be interesting to speak with Toffee TV tomorrow and see what they've got to say based on this new revelation. And thank you guys. Subscribe to Patreon, and we will see you again very, very soon.